we are not going to talk in detail about these topics. We are going to introduce those topics and also give suggestions about what type of questions you should expect from these topics. All these are important topics, and naturally the panel members in UPSC may be tempted to ask questions on all these issues. So please be prepared, and after the introduction of the topics by the panelists, the floor will be open for discussion as well as question answer session. You can raise questions. You can even answer the questions, because all of you must be very well prepared about current affairs. Most of you may be even better prepared than we are. So I'm going to start with the topic. The details of the topic, the themes of the topic are given in this slide. You can go through it leisurely. What I will like to tell you is only an introduction. What is International Financial Services Center and why it was required? As you might, in fact, whatever we talk these days will have to be related to two major concepts, rather missions of Government of India. One is the Atmanirbhar Bharat and the other is the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
So global warming as such is a very conventional topic. Most of the students might be aware about the global warming, but my concern with global warming started out with how multi-dimensionally vulnerable are we as a country. So we know from the past 1 year or so, we have been witnessing a number of landfalls with regard to tropical cyclones. The eastern part, the Coromandel coast is traditionally vulnerable to the so-called tropical cyclones, and this phenomenon has increased not only in its frequency but also in its intensity over the past few years, over the past few decades, if I may put it so. This has been accounted to the global warming. So we know the kind of adverse effects that would have on the coastal areas. Now, apart from that, if you go to the next area, which is the central and peninsular India. In the central and peninsular India also, we know that how global warming is affecting. So the heat waves are coming up with much more intensity and with much more frequency and with much more elongated period.
You know, as I see it, the Ukraine crisis is a man-made crisis which should never have happened. It's a conflict which is totally unwarranted. It is a result of the Western hubris, the effort of NATO to squeeze Russia, the needless expansion eastwards of Ukraine, of NATO. After the end of the Cold War, in fact, the raison d'etre for NATO's continuation was not there, but it's a relic of the Cold War which was continued. Clearly, Russia's genuine security concerns were not taken into account. That is also a fact. Yet, the reaction of Russia is completely unwarranted. You cannot in this time and age, whatever be the provocation, justify an armed aggression against a neighboring country. Because imagine if disputes or security concerns are tried to be resolved through use of offense or invasion, will lead to anarchy. I would also like to say here that the concept of sphere of influence, despite the fact that the US denies it, is very much there. Large countries do have their sphere of influence and try to protect their sphere of influence. According to the Monroe Doctrine, for the US, the entire Western Hemisphere was the sphere of influence. They denied, Obama had denied it, but nevertheless, that is very much there. For Russia, the at least the perimeter, the countries which are adjoining Russia are vital to their security interest. So taking NATO to the doorsteps of Russia was a clear provocation.